OnStar Emergency. This is Patricia. What attended you the emergency?
I'm in the 2016 Chevy Colorado Duramax diesel, and today we are going to take this thing on a road trip. I have to go to Dallas on Sunday. Today is Saturday, and I figured what better way to get to Dallas than via El Paso? Today, I'm going to drive this truck as far as I can from Austin to El Paso, which is around 555 miles. And I'm going to try and do it on a single tank. I'm pretty excited about this trip because I've driven the GMC Canyon recently, and that one actually was a very similar truck to this one. And the difference though here on this truck is that it actually has the shorter bed. This is a 21-gallon fuel tank, and it's supposed to get about 29 miles per gallon on the highway. This shorter bed actually gives this truck a better ride quality. It's not so long in the wheelbase, and it actually changes lanes better than the longer wheelbase. So I really have good feelings about this ride. So let me fill it up. It's been a while. Note to self, the fuel filler is on the left side of the truck. That's alright. Kind of had a slow start to my day. That's what Saturdays are about, right? The gear shifter is actually really nice. It's very comfortable. It has manual controls on it, but overall it's just like the right height. It's very, very comfortable. Let's get on with this. Alright, well, I just left the fueling station. I have topped the tank off. That allows me to have a full reading when I get to El Paso and top the tank off again. So right now, I'm going to reset the trip odometer. I'm going to do that by going to reset. Done. I'm also going to reset trip B. Reset. Okay, and now we are good to go. I have 5,181 miles on the truck. You know, the one thing that I was kind of confused about when I drove the GMC Canyon was, who is this truck for? You know, this truck is like very pricey for what it delivers. But then GM gave me this, which is very similar, but because of the shorter bed, it rides better. And I thought, yeah, you know what? Maybe this is for, you know, baseball coaches that do travel ball and they have their Toyota Tacomas or something, and they, you know, they spend a lot of time not only on the road but just away from home. So anywhere you can get money to save, you know, especially on a round trip, you're talking like 10, 20 bucks just by going from, you know, 18 miles to the gallon to 28 miles to the gallon. So, you know, the truck may sound expensive, but in the long run, a truck that can get 30 mpgs is a very nice idea. And I'm very glad that it's actually here and you can have one right now. Obviously, everyone wants one, and it's hard to get one, but what I can tell you is it's very, very cool, and it's very worth the wait. In this truck, you can tow up to 7,700 pounds with the two-wheel drive version. With the four-wheel drive equipped one, such as this, you can tow 7,600 pounds. So do you really need a bigger truck if you're just going around town and then traveling once in a while? I would say, no, you don't. This size truck is perfect for going around town, going to Home Depot, going on a milk run. Let's take this run seriously and not necessarily consider it a challenge or a competition, but let's just really see what we can get from this truck. What can this thing do for me, right? Is this truck good enough? All right, now that I'm getting off the toll road, it's important to note that my mileage figures started when I filled up. So I'm sitting here in this traffic at the exits, going to get my coffee, going to get a case of water for the road trip. And it's not just highway miles. You're seeing a combination of this traffic stop and go, and then hitting the highway, just like a normal trip would be. You're never going to have the perfect scenario where you just hit the highway and it's just wide open roads and you go. This allows me to kind of give it a real world example and not really give you a perfect world example. While I'm bored off my ass in traffic, I figured I would highlight some of the great features in this Chevy Colorado. One of them is the automatic climate control. You set the temperature you want, you press auto, it directs the air, it even has auto recirc. So if it's really dusty outside, it's going to set it to recirculation mode. You always have the manual override, but it does take it off auto. You hit auto, it goes back to normal. It adjusts the fan speed, it does everything. You just set the temp, and it does all the work. So that's nice to have. It's very luxurious and accommodating. I wouldn't have any complaints in this department. And as far as the strength of the AC, here in Texas, I can get in this hot truck, fire this thing up, and in minutes, it's already cooling the cabin down. And this is the crew cab. Now, other things in this truck that I really like, just like I did in the GMC Canyon, were the features on this touchscreen navigation stereo system. It provided a lot of input, gave me a lot of control, and the information is exactly what I want, when I want it, where I need it. It's hard to explain other than to say that I'm not fiddling around with buttons all the time. Even if I want to change the stations, I could use this knob, and every detent, every little click in this knob corresponds to a station. So when I'm channel surfing on XM radio, because this does have satellite radio, that channel surfing means that I can go from channel 42, the joint, to 33, first wave, just by tactile feel. I don't have to get my eyes off the road. Of course, I can hit the programmable buttons, but this being a press truck, I don't have time to program buttons. I like this manual, quick seek entry thing. It works for me. Another great feature, auto headlights. You just keep it on auto. They turn on when they need them. When you're driving along, there's nothing to think about. This truck has auto windshield wipers. This is bullshit. All right, I have my coffee. It's iced coffee. I have some water, and it is 1:56. So let's set the GPS for El Paso and get some information on when we're going to get there.
Command, please.
Navigation.
What type of destination, address, intersection, place of interest, or contact?
Intersection.
Say the city and state.
El Paso, Texas.
Name the first intersecting street in El Paso, Texas.
Airway Boulevard.
Name the second street.
Gateway Boulevard.
Gateway Boulevard, correct?
Yes.
Complete your selection from the radio display. Airway Boulevard, Gateway Boulevard, El Paso, Texas.
Perfect. So, that destination should be exactly where we need to be. It's 576 miles from here. And my range is 506 miles? This will be fun. Oh, man. This is going to be the toughest challenge yet. Just unbelievable. This is 2 o'clock on a Saturday. Just look at this traffic. Look at that. I have 507 miles remaining on my range, but I have 573 miles to go to get to my destination in El Paso. And I gotta get through this crap. Today's Saturday. It looks like a Monday frickin' morning. Alright. Well, while I'm on the subject of stupid traffic, this truck is actually very easy to drive in traffic. It's calm, it's relaxing. It's not an aggressive V8 supercharged turbo anything. It's just a turbo 4-cylinder diesel with 181 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. It's got just the right of momentum to cruise. And, that's hard to do these days in these supercharged, turbocharged vehicles. And I think what you end up with when you get a truck like this is something that you can actually comfortably drive around town with on a daily basis. And the beauty here is that not only do you have a comfortable cruiser for the town, you have a comfortable cruiser for getting from town to town. In a place like Texas, that's important. And especially if you're considering going to from a Tacoma to a Canyon or a Colorado because you want the efficiency of a diesel, and who doesn't, then what GMC and Chevrolet have done here is create a truck that elevates the game. Even though they've elevated the game here in the medium-sized truck business, I think that for the price, if you can keep it at the $40,000 price point, you'll be all right. They're not making this easy, are they? My range is holding steady. My distance to the destination is 571 miles. I have 508 miles left on the tank. It's 2:08. Just look at that traffic. Stop and go on a Saturday afternoon. Who ever thought that would happen here? Hey, there's the station I normally stop at to refuel. Now that I've stopped at a new station, we actually get to cross all the way through the city of Austin and enjoy some of that lovely, lovely traffic before we get to this point. That allows us to have more real-world results, real-world examples to really show you how capable diesels are in the long range. So, now that that's been established, let's keep going. Alright, well, I've gone some considerable distance through all the traffic. I've made it outside the other end, and I have 550 miles to go and a range of 521 miles. So it's looking good. Hi. Alright, well, I'm 100 miles into the trip. Here are the stats. 100.9 miles driven and averaging 27.6 mpgs. And you'll see there, it is 85 degrees outside, and I have 485 miles to go. So right now it's 3:48, and I'm expected to get there at 10:05 p.m. Now there is a time change when I get to El Paso. It'll actually be an hour behind, and I'm not sure yet if this GPS is actually calculating my arrival time based on the time zone change, or if it's the destination arrival time with basically no time zone change. Well, we're gonna find out. So far so good on the journey. I do want to comment though that I really wish this had a sunroof. A sunroof would be nice to just open up, slide back, or even tilt and get some fresh air coming through the cabin. The auto climate control does a very good job, but it's a nice day. It's really nice out, and here I am cocooned in this really nice truck. And what am I supposed to do? There's nothing much I can do. So, yeah, sunroof, please. You see, the real cool thing about road trips is that you get to explore as you go. And sometimes you just come across some real beautiful scenery, especially in the month of May. The flowers are popping. Everything is just, in a good mood. Everything's awesome in May. And that's the best time to take a road trip, in my opinion. Not too hot, not too cold, not even rainy, really. And you got to do it. You got to do it in anything you can, at least once in your life. All right, I am now heading onto Interstate 10. So I am now heading completely west, and I am averaging 27.3 mpgs, and that's over 135 miles. Now, keep in mind, that was with traffic in Austin, but if you look at my range remaining on the tank, that's 550 miles of fuel, and I only have 450 miles to go. So I'm already banking 100 miles, and, well, it looked like I wasn't going to really get that far, but now all of a sudden, after just averaging out over an open road, it looks like diesel's on my side. Well, now that the speed limit is 80 miles an hour, I'm going to go ahead and knock the cruise control up to 80 miles an hour. I'm going to use cruise control on this journey. The GMC Canyon that I drove, I actually didn't use cruise control. And since this is a very similar vehicle, I'm going to use cruise on this one and go a further distance, and we're going to determine if it's worth it. I mean, sometimes cruise control can eat your efficiency up because it's not accounting for inclines and headwinds and things like that. But in this case, you know, we've got such a buffer. We've got over 100 miles of range in the tank. I think we're safe now to just stay on the cruise at the speed limit, doing 80, and just go for it. I mean, let's just go for it. As you know, the last truck I drove, averaging 29.5 in a Duramax diesel, that was the GMC Canyon, and the truck before that was also a Duramax diesel. That was the monster 2500 GMC Sierra Denali. Of course, the one downside to driving on any road in May on road trips, you are going to collect a lot of bugs. And that does create a bit of a problem for your windshield, because as they dry, they get harder to remove. So you keep driving in the hot weather, and then they dry out, and then you hit the windshield washer fluid, and then they just kind of smear on the window. You get to a certain point where you hit so many bugs, you have to keep washing your window, you're going to run out of fluid. So be sure to top up before you hit the road. Well, it's 5:02, and I've got some bad news. Cruise control at 80 miles an hour is affecting fuel economy. It's adverse. I am now averaging 26.3 mpgs, and it's 85 degrees out. I have 390 miles to go, and my range is now 449. So it dropped considerably using cruise control at the speed limit. And out here in Texas, it's 80 miles an hour. If you have a lower speed limit in town, like LA to Vegas, you might not have this problem. But out here, where there's nothing for forever, you want to get to your next destination. And if I kept at this pace, I think that I would average worse than 26 mpgs, and I wouldn't get to El Paso with enough left to be comfortable. So I'm still going to do 80, but this time not with cruise control. So I'm turning it off. I'm going to prepare to kill more bugs, and let's see if it improves. 26.3. Can we do any better? Speaking of improvement, there are two things on this truck that could use improvement. The first one is, it's real simple actually. Don't get the side rails, the step rails on the side of the truck. They make it very difficult to get in and out of the truck, and you get dirty when the truck gets wet. So they're pointless. And the second thing that I don't understand is the lumbar switch here is actually the opposite of how it feels. It actually is convex and concave. And the concave portion actually pushes out lumbar, and the convex part, which is the bubble, actually pulls the lumbar in. I don't know if that's a switch that's been installed backwards or if that's normal. I didn't expect that. Everything else is great. The driving position's decent. The seats are good. I even have heated seats. I have everything at my disposal. The electric steering is very precise. On turn-in, it's got a lot of feedback, and when you exit corners, it lightens up. It's got a great way to gauge, especially in a truck this size with these big wheels. You do have some cushioning from the road with the thick sidewalls on the tires, but at the same time, you do feel the undulation in the pavement. You know what's going on. You tell that there is or is not contact on that road. Also, the only thing that really gets me are these auto down switches. Every window is auto down, but only the driver's switch is auto up. It's not a big deal, especially at this price point, but these days you can get auto up on a lot of cars on the passenger windows. Why skip out on auto up all the way around? I don't get it. That's pretty much it. This truck has a lot of great features for towing. Because it's a diesel, the Duramax diesels have exhaust braking and a trailer brake. So when I want to tow, I can just put everything on and go. So, if you got a weekend fling to go to, this is definitely the truck for you. Whether it's camping or, I don't know, do they do motorbikes out here? I don't know, that's more of a California thing. But you get my point. It's pretty cool. I've discovered that the sweet spot to get the best highway use out of this truck is between 70 and 75 miles an hour without cruise control. Well, I don't know. This is a really graded road here. It's just kind of rough surface, and I'm hearing this buzzing bee sound. It's driving me crazy. It's coming from the dash somewhere, and I figured out the source of it. It's actually this button right here. See? Fingers on it, it's okay. Finger off. Rattling. No rattle. Rattling. Come on. Clearly, hopefully someone just broke the button, but I'm kind of 50-50 on that. This is the first time I've actually experienced that. Driving me freaking crazy is what that thing's doing. Actually, the Bose stereo is a really good way to drown out that stupid sound. Well, I got a little distracted by all that awesome music on the stereo, and I'm at the halfway point. Actually, I just passed it. I've got 289 miles to go, and I've done 295.2. These are my stats. So I've gone 295, and I'm still averaging 26.6. I've got the cruise control set to 75. And you'll see, I haven't even used a half tank yet. So that means I've got a lot more range than I originally thought. And now I'm questioning the accuracy of this trip computer. But we'll see. I do know that as I start heading down towards El Paso, the fuel economy will increase because I have a large descent to make. And I achieve about 4,000 feet elevation during the halfway mark. And then it descends from there. So we'll see what that does to my overall MPGs when I fill up. Oh man, this windshield is filthy, so I'm gonna pull over and give it a wipe down because I just can't see anything. It's totally useless. So, rest area, take a quick break, wipe it down, get back on the road. This is your 400 mile update, basically. So far, I am now averaging 25.9. It has gone down. You can see my cruise control is set to 80 miles an hour, right there. And, well, this is not what I expected. There is some wind today. There's actually a red flag warning today, but I'm not really seeing any side gusts. If you look at where I am, my range is 229 miles. It's a rough road. My range is 229 miles, and I have 183 miles to go. So, if I keep at the current pace, I actually might have to push because I'm dropping significantly. But if I have a downhill run, I might increase it, so we'll see. The speed limit here is 80, I'm doing 78. My average is still falling, by the way. I'm down to 25.8 miles per gallon, but I have more than a quarter tank left, and I've gone 416 miles. So either I'm taking some crazy desert dust and I'm tripping, or at this point the computer is wrong. It's 8 o'clock and it says I'll get there at 9:27, and I still have 165 miles to go. So what this tells me is the arrival time is not compensating for the time zone change, which is happening right up here. So what we'll get to see now is when I pass the time zone, will the clock and GPS update automatically. Now as the sun just starts setting behind the ridge, it's absolutely beautiful if you're into sunsets and big trucks in front of you. But wow, it's been a nice day. Very nice weather today. Amazing. Look at that. Okay, here we are. I just passed a point where it's now pretty much downhill a lot of the way. I've gone 507, pretty much 508 miles, averaging 25.9 mpgs. I expect it to go higher as I head downhill, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, what the average goes up to after going down these hills. But basically I have 73 miles to my destination and plenty of range, so here we go. Alright, another accident on one of my road trips, but this time it happened sort of in front of me, as you saw on the camera. So this road trip is over as far as the challenge, and I'm going to go help these people out if I can.
Hey, is there anybody in that car still? Is there anybody in that car still?
I don't know yet. I can't walk across.
No, I know. That's what I'm trying to do.
Alright, so no one knows if anyone called, so I'm going to use the SOS button for OnStar.
Connecting to OnStar Emergency.
OnStar emergency. This is Patricia. What attended you to the emergency?
There was a car accident with the rollover.
Okay, are you involved in the accident, sir?
No, it happened ahead of me, like, I don't know, 30 seconds before me, but
Okay.
it's been a few
Okay,
minutes. We're here at the scene and there's no officer and trucks are flying by at regular speed.
I'm here to get some help, sir. I do have you on I-10 near Timothy Drive there in El Paso, Texas. I'll quickly contact 911 to get them on the line. I'll bring on my partner to assist you. Hello, sir. Thank you for holding. I have my partner, Talia, on the line. She's going to take care of you and the people involved in the accident. So I'll quickly contact 911 to get help for them. Go right ahead, Talia. My name is Talia. I am here to help, okay? Tell me exactly what happened.
I'm not sure exactly what happened. There was a car that either went off on the shoulder and then rolled, but it's basically on the center divider on I-10, and there must have been 2 people in the car, and it was a Ford Explorer, and it's facing the wrong direction, but in the shoulder. And there's trucks.
All right, are you with the patient now?
No, I'm on the right shoulder. I did not cross the freeway, but the cars are coming through at full speed. And so I'm on the right shoulder with my blinkers on, and there's a security guard trying to illuminate, but there's parts flying. It's a pretty big mess. And it's been like,
I understand. How many people are hurt?
It looks like one person's kind of just, upset at this point, but it looked like a single vehicle accident. So,
okay.
And
from where you are, I'm sorry, sir, what is your name?
Brian Grant.
Brian Grant. All right, and Mr. Grant, from where you are, can you tell how old the patients are?
I can't, it's too dark. I can't see them.
All right, and can you tell if the patient is male or female?
Looks to be male.
Okay. Can you tell if he's awake or not?
He seems to be like sitting down. I think that there's like 3 or 4 people at this point helping him. Some people have moved to the center divider, but for me, there are trucks coming through at 75 miles an hour, and it's dangerous.
I understand, sir. I have a couple of questions for you to answer to help me aid the first responders. Okay.
Okay.
Is anyone pinned?
I can't tell. I gotta get going now. I need to refill. Let's just continue on with the journey. They're all right. They're just kind of, scraped and bruised and just a little shaken up. But I think they'll be okay. I don't know where they came from. One of the guys said they came from the upper road, and then I haven't seen that car before. I haven't seen it pass me, but it looks like maybe it might have veered down into the ditch and then rolled over to their side. I don't know. But luckily, everyone's actually okay.
Caution, I-10 accident.
Yep. Okay, 3.4 miles, 3.3 miles to go. My exit is coming up. It's the typical Chevron station. Just to give you an idea of how nerve-wracking this is right now, that's my fuel range. It says low. And if I go up, you'll see I've done 26.1 mpgs over 578.2 miles. We'll see. I mean, I had to do a lot of idling after that accident, and there was a lot of traffic in Austin. So, and I'm also doing a lot more mileage than normal because I left on the north side of Austin this time to really stretch this tank out. Because look at that fuel gauge. It's damn near empty. At the refueling station. We made it! In one piece! There it is. 580.9 miles, 26.1 average, and low. We're definitely empty. Look at that. That is empty. So, let's fill her up. All right, fill-up is done, and let's get you some results. Even though we planned a trip, and we plan perfect trips most of the time, a lot of the times they can go wrong, and when it did go wrong, we still made it because we had range, which is the luxury that you get with a diesel. So in this case, we went 580.9 miles, and it took 22.476 gallons. And that is not very good. 25.8. But keep in mind, we were idling on the side of the road, we were in traffic. In this Chevy Colorado, I did pure cruise control, and I kept it close to the speed limit the entire time. No matter where you go, you definitely want to get there. And this truck got me there. Let's go get some tacos.